GDP, or gross domestic product, measures the total value of goods and services produced within an economy over a given period. It is one of the most widely used indicators of economic size. However, GDP is not the same as government revenue, household income, or quality of life. A state with a large informal economy can generate substantial economic activity while collecting relatively little tax revenue. This distinction is particularly important in Nigeria, where informal businesses contribute significantly to economic output. Understanding GDP helps us appreciate why some states appear economically stronger than their government finances might suggest. The Southeast state consists of Abia, Anambra, Ebonyi, Enugu, and Imo states. According to BudgIT estimates, Imo generates $19.02 billion, Anambra generates $12.73 billion, Abia generates $11.38 billion, Enugu State generates $3.84 billion, Ebonyi State generates $2.74 billion. The combined GDP of the Southeast stands at $49.71 billion. The region's economy is heavily driven by indigenous entrepreneurship, manufacturing, commerce, transport, agriculture, and a vast network of SMEs. Unlike all producing states, much of its economy is generated through private enterprise. Removing Lagos leaves Ogun State at $12.46 billion, Ondo State at $12.63 billion, Oyo State at $7.84 billion, Osun State at $4.79 billion, and Ekiti State at $2.63 billion. The combined GDP of the Southwest stands at $40.35 billion. This state possesses strong agricultural production, manufacturing, education, mining, and growing industrial parks. However, Lagos remains the dominant economic engine of the Southwest, accounting for a very large share of the region's total output. For years, many Nigerians have assumed the Southwest overwhelmingly dominates the country's economy. That perception is largely driven by Lagos, Nigeria's commercial capital, and by far the nation's largest economy. But what happens if Lagos is removed from the equation? The answer is surprising. Using the 2021 state GDP estimate published by BudgIT and widely referenced in economic analysis, the combined GDP of the five Southeast states is estimated at about $49.7 billion, while the combined Southwest states, excluding Lagos, have a combined GDP of about $40.4 billion. That means the Southeast leads by roughly $9.3 billion, but GDP tells only a part of the story. This documentary explores what is driving these economies, where each region excels, and whether this economic advantage is sustainable. The Southeast economy is unusually decentralized. Instead of depending on one megacity, economic activity is spread across several commercial hubs: Onitsha, Aba, Nnewi, Owerri, and Enugu. Each city specializes in different sectors, including manufacturing, wholesale trade, transport, technology, education, and services. This distributed economic structure makes the region remarkably resilient. When one city slows down, others continue driving growth. One of the South's greatest strengths is manufacturing. Aba has become one of Africa's largest clusters of small-scale manufacturers. Nnewi has earned the nickname Japan of Africa due to its concentration of indigenous industrialists. Thousands of locally owned businesses manufacture shoes, garments, auto parts, plastics, pharmaceuticals, furniture, and food products. These industries contribute significantly to regional GDP while employing hundreds of thousands of Nigerians. Unlike many regions that rely heavily on multinational corporations or oil revenue, much of the Southeast economy is financed by indigenous investors. Family-owned businesses dominate commerce. The famous Igbo apprenticeship system continues to produce thousands of entrepreneurs every year. This model has created one of Africa's largest networks of small and medium-sized enterprises. It is a unique economic ecosystem that has attracted academic interest around the world. Despite trailing in combined GDP without Lagos, the Southwest possesses enormous advantages. Ogun has become one of Nigeria's leading manufacturing destinations due to its proximity to Lagos. Ondo has significant agricultural and mineral resources. Oyo has one of the largest urban economies centered around Ibadan. The region also benefits from major universities, industrial estate, and transportation infrastructure. Its future remains highly promising. Although the Southeast records a higher combined GDP, the Southwest generally attracts substantially more foreign direct investment, partly because Lagos serves as Nigeria's primary gateway for international business. Government revenue, infrastructure, seaport, airport, and access to capital also influence long-term economic competitiveness. GDP measures economic size, not necessarily investment attractiveness or fiscal capacity. This is why multiple indicators are needed to assess regional economic strength. Rather than competing, both regions have opportunities for collaboration. Improved highways, railway connections, and logistics could strengthen trade between Southeast manufacturers and Southwest ports. Joint investments in technology, agriculture, manufacturing, and tourism could benefit both regions while creating jobs and increasing national GDP. Economic cooperation often delivers greater long-term gains than regional rivalry. The answer depends on infrastructure. Projects such as new industrial parks, logistic hubs, power investment, inland ports, and improved transportation could significantly boost productivity. Likewise, continued investment in Ogun, Oyo, and Ondo could further expand the Southwest economy beyond Lagos. Future ranking will depend not only on entrepreneurship, but also on government policies, infrastructure, and investment. Based on the widely cited BudgIT 2021 state's GDP estimate, Southeast stands at 49.71 billion US dollars, and the Southwest, excluding Lagos, stands at 40.35 billion dollars. This places the Southeast ahead by approximately $9.36 billion. However, this should not be interpreted as one region being universally better than the other. The Southeast demonstrates the power of indigenous entrepreneurship and decentralized commerce. The Southwest showcases the importance of industrialization, infrastructure, and investment attraction. Ultimately, Nigeria's economic future depends on growth of every region, not competition alone, but collaboration, innovation, and sustained investment. The numbers may surprise you, but they also remind us that every region has unique strengths that contributes to Nigeria's economy. What do you think? Does the Southeast entrepreneurial model give it an edge, or do you believe the Southwest industrial base outside Lagos has greater long-term potential? Share your thoughts respectfully in the comments. We would love to hear your perspective. If you enjoyed this documentary and want more fact-based stories on Nigeria's economy, infrastructure, investment, and development, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode from 1010 Media. And if you found this video informative, share it with your friends, family. The more people who engage with verified facts and meaningful discussion, the better informed we all become. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next documentary.
Authorities say the Nigerian economy is improving. Their claims are backed by seeming assuring statistics. But the reality on the streets seems to differ from the fine print in the news. In this story, Gist Nigeria's Mercy Frank talks to experts and everyday Nigerians to make sense of it all. Have a look.
The economy is stabilized. Nobody is trading piece of paper for exchange rate anymore.
It's right to say that you stabilize the economy, but stability is not growth.
The woman in Oyo State, the man in Benue State, they can't feel the gains from these reforms.
From the papers to purses, could this be a tale of two economies?
We are very clear in our minds that if you set out with a tax reform and you say you want to generate more revenue, you're placing the cart before the horse. I've said this many times, I'll say it again. Taxes are the consequences of economic activities. If I'm unemployed and I have no income, it doesn't matter how sound your tax laws are. It's meaningless how effective your tax administration is. You cannot collect personal income tax from me. If I have no money to buy items, you can't generate VAT from me.
But when you have sectors that have high tendency to create jobs growing at a slower pace, what it means is that your income level will be low, and also this will also translate to lower or less improved welfare for the citizens.